Hello everyone, welcome back. And today we're going to be playing Spirit Blossom Ahri against the Elder Dragon adventure from the Titans of Runeterra campaign. I think I've already played at least one game with one run with every Spirit Blossom champion on here on the channel. So I have to do repeats now, and since I need to clear this adventure with a Spirit Blossom champion, I figured I might as well use one of the ones I haven't used all that much, I think. I mean, it's the one that has the lowest level. I'm going to be running the Chemtech duplicator to double up our spellcasts. Once we reach 6 mana, we can get to that point very easily in this adventure, or in this campaign, because we start with extra mana. And Grand General's counterplan is going to give us more spells to cast, which might actually be relevant because sometimes we run out of spells with this deck. And yeah, hopefully things will turn out well. I think our main weakness is going to be the first 2 turns before we reach 6 mana, and after that we can stabilize. So I need help to mitigate that, which is something none of these powers actually do. I suppose the rush them down can kind of work with the ephemeral units we'll be summoning off of our power, but even then that's not that great. Stabilize is not that great either. Need something better. Titanic Wake, Arcanian Empowerment, Disarmed. We do have spells that deal damage, right? The Orb of Deception, deal double damage but cost 1 more. This is actually deal 2 damage then. I'm going to take it. If we can't kill the opponent with just attacks from big ephemerals, I'm still running Phantom Pranks as our rune on Ahri, so that's an alternate twin con, I guess. We just toss all our units into the grinder and hopefully that's enough to deal enough damage to the opponent's Nexus. This is a fine keep, I think. Let's try to go for the Battles of Fate early. Actually, it's not the first 2 turns, it's actually the first turn only. That's good to know. Next turn we can start doubling up our spellcasts with Ahri. So the question is, do I want Ahri on board right now or do I want to wait a bit? And I think the answer is I want to wait a bit because then again, I can actually go Ahri into Battles of Fate here. Let's go for that instead. Gem Dragon is not that terribly hard of an encounter. We're going to get more Orbs of Deception off of Ahri, so giving it a common item probably isn't that bad. Okay, we got an Oracle Lens, could be worse. Do I want to attack with... Yeah, let's attack with both the Foxfires. It buffs up the opponent's unit and gives him a gem, but it's fine because it works towards Ahri's level up. Now I can deal 16 to something. I definitely need to deal 16 to that, otherwise it's going to kill Ahri and I don't want that. Yeah, sure, Final Blessing. Alright, we double up on that. Well, in that case, let's pick up the Spirit Rush, I suppose. Can jump block the opponent's attack with our 2/5/5s. Okay, it doesn't attack. Makes sense, that would just benefit us by working towards Ahri's level up. We can go Petals of Fate into our buff for the ephemerals, do 5 mana 1. Am I fine with that play? Honestly, yeah, because next turn I can go for Spirit Rush, summon a 1/1 Foxfire that attacks each of the opponent's units. I feel like the opponent's going to end up playing something large here. Ooh, right, we got double the spellcasts. So now we have two cards with epic items. Doubling dice. I'm going to lose out on one cast of the Orb of Deception, but I feel like this is better because of how large we make our units. But we are running overdrawing here. So a small loss on that front. We could have gone ahead and preserved the final blessing in hand without casting it, but that wouldn't be fun, wouldn't it? I'd rather summon a full board of Foxfires. And now next turn we just play another Orb of Deception and we kill the opponent's units. That way. This is 5, so actually we don't even need to play it for the highest cost. Sure, we give the opponent a gem by doing this. But this is probably better anyway, because at the very least it also shuffles more cards into our deck, which we desperately need, because we could have lost by decking out. I want to do anything else. Definitely not Spirit Rush. Can just do this, get another Foxfire in order to block.
Eyes on me.
Now we have a full board of ephemerals that the opponent needs to go through. So our health total is protected that way. It would have been a problem if that overwhelm unit had stayed on board. But now we can avoid all the life loss. Yeah, that does nothing, opponent, sorry. It only makes it so your unit gets softened up. And even if our units don't get value by trading, they still get value because of the harrowing pranks? Phantom pranks. I want to close out the game here. Let's do this. Just get a couple more Aries into the deck. Then I can go for the final blessing. We draw twice. Buff up all of our ephemerals by 2. And we have more than enough damage to close out the game. That was nice and simple. Let's hope this is a sign of things to come. Ahri is rather understarred for this adventure, only ever at 4 stars. But considering how strong some of the Spirit Blossom champions are, maybe 2 stars are enough. All of these are pretty bad. Deal double damage but cost 1 more. Double damage but cost 1 more. That would be 8 because of our Arcane Empowerment. 3 mana deal 8. Isn't that basically what the Orb of Deception does? Actually, yeah, it is. I don't really like Urumi, but I'll take it. It's a bit more of removal. Might be relevant. Reborn Grenadier, Roar of the Slayer, Scion. What? Honestly, none of these are that great. I'm going to reroll. We need something that synergizes with spellcasts like Karma, yeah. But considering the power we do have, the arcane empowerment, I think it would be more beneficial to try and go for a more damaging spell route. And that would mean foregoing Ionia, so we can take Karma. And this is not that great because we don't get spells here. Shurima does have some damaging spells, but not with Severe. Let's reroll yet again. Vladimir, Aphelios, Serath. Aphelios has Calibrum as a damage spell, but I'm pretty sure it's the only spell in that region that actually deals damage. Endless Devout. The problem with Serath is that our board is going to end up being filled by landmarks. And we don't really want that, we'd rather have the board space for the ephemerals. Just one more reroll. Surely something good will happen here, or it will come here. Never mind. Guess we're picking up Varus. Varus is decent enough on his own. And it gives us a piece of protection for our units. In case we need to protect Ahri from removal. I guess. Not really happy about this outcome though. Let's go for the Mountain Drake, because I feel like our game plan is not fast enough to deal with the Infernal Drake. So even though our power, Phantom Pranks, gets completely nullified by the opponent's power, it's still a better path for us. An easier one, at least. Let's drop down the Ahri. I'm pretty sure the opponent doesn't have removal. Except that's removal, and now it even has Spell Shield. Ooh, that's a problem. Let's try to take a look at the opponent's hand. Gentleman's Duel. Yeah, let's take this opportunity to remove the opponent's removal, I guess. Honestly, let's hold back. We don't need to feed the opponent extra stats, he already has enough on his own. Maybe this is not too bad. I still have the Ahri in hand, at least. Then we can drop down the Sparring Student. Maybe bait the opponent. We are taking 8, actually not 18-21 because of the impact here. It hurts a lot, but I think we need Ahri on board. Now let's try and go ahead and buff up my little Foxfires. Let's hope the opponent doesn't have some removal. More Gentleman's Duels, at least. How do I do this? We can go for multiple Orbs of Deception for 3. We definitely need to get rid of this thing. Okay, that takes 7 from our spellcast, so we do that 7 there. Now we have more than enough units on board to jump block the opponent's stuff. If the opponent pulls something with the... I was about to say, if the opponent pulls something with the Petricite Broadwing, we can go ahead and deal damage to it, but now that the opponent went ahead and gave the opponent or the Stalking Brood Mother challenger, I might need to remove it. Can't go for the 5 though. Is this enough to kill the opponent's stuff? No. This is not enough either, it deals 7 twice. So I'm going to take damage here no matter what. Maybe I can fish for something. That's not good enough. Spirit Rush maybe? Cash back. Yep, none of these are good enough. So let's just do this. Try to take the damage as best as I can. We have an Ahri in hand. So let's try to do this. Hopefully kill that unit. So it takes 16, we're getting dangerously low.
The world's heart beats with mine. Oh, that's it?
But the opponent's out of resources, or almost out of resources. I could definitely benefit from some healing though.
Protect the huntress.
I need to save mana open for this. Do I just attack here?
Places to hide.
Sure. It gives priority back to the opponent. Let's him play something else before the turn ends. I still need to save mana open for this. In case the opponent goes ahead and went ahead and summoned something else. With him not summoning anything, can safely go for removal on one of his units, I guess. If the opponent opens attacks next turn, I think I just die. Maybe not, because I can generate some blockers by doing that. The Orb of Deception. We're at 10 mana, so we can splurge a little bit. He's going to buff up his units with the Balan. Or I can Spirit Rush the Balan. No, that's not good enough to kill it. And I don't have any more pieces of removal. Suppose I can do that there. Remove the unit at the very least. And since Spirit Rush has coin, we're going to be able to get some mana back by playing the coins. So it could be worse. Gentleman's Duel. With Gentleman's Duel there. Actually, no, we need to do that there. Remove the impact. Removing the impact unit is important. And the opponent's out of value. Perfect. Final Blessing or Spirit Rush? Let's go Spirit Rush. Let's soften up the opponent's board a little bit. Problem is definitely the card draw. I might be drawing way too much. Nah, it's fine. Still have 13 cards in the deck. The opponent decided not to attack at all, which is interesting. Is it time to go for Final Blessings? No, not really. We're going to overdraw if we do that. Maybe momentous choice. Just buff up this little guy. Make it so he's a threat at least when we attack.
Nothing stops adventure. Let them chase me.
And then we do this. Need to empty our hand a little bit. We completely wasted the Grand General's counterplan this turn.
Bury me
Just drowning in value at this point. Maybe that's not that much of a bad thing. Let's start with deception. That thing. Get rid of it. Oh, don't take damage from enemy spells or skills. I thought, for some reason, I thought it worked like the ones from Freljord, where it's allied ones for some reason. My bad. Well, at the very least we can still kill one of the opponent's high priority units, the Balan. And next turn we're going to have enough hand space so that we don't actually waste all the cards we get at the start of the turn. That's frightening. Let's get rid of that right away, shall we?
Eyes on me.
Alright, we're one off. I should have gone for the version that deals more damage. I completely forgot that to take into account the tough in the opponent's units. Fortunately, he's not that interested in attacking. Well, I guess it's because he is kind of in a delicate spot where if he attacks and it doesn't kill me, he just loses everything. Let's get the virus down. Gentleman's duel, that's fine. The camp pickpocket is not really that important. We've targeted allies. We're not really doing a lot of ally targeting. Let's give him an epic item to the Ahri, I suppose. More epic items for Ahri, I guess. Ooh, she now grows with spellcasts. That's actually perfect, considering how many spells we're casting a turn. Should I go for the momentous choice? That's a maybe. Yeah, we waste one Foxfire, but it's fine. Let's just try and get some damage through to the opponent's Nexus. See if we can close out this game anytime soon. That's fine. Since I don't have anything better to do, let's just generate some blockers for that unit.
Eyes on me.
For those units, I mean. Yeah, of course he doesn't attack. He would get nothing out of it. Let's go ahead and level up Varus, just to say we did that.
The arrow of retribution will find its mark.
Even though it probably won't be relevant. Let's get some Foxfires now. Come on, let me close out the game. There we go. Game over. And we only lost the majority of our health total for it. But to be fair, it was mostly because of the opponent getting overwhelmed on various random units from the Dragon Souls. So it wasn't entirely something I could avoid. Fortune Croaker. The Prodigy's Shade, I guess. Mostly because we do cast some spells on our units sometimes. -1 cost, Overwhelm, Barrier. Let's get -1 cost on Ahri. Makes her a little bit more flexible on the first turn. Now we can play her alongside the 2 cost card. If we want to go for her on the first turn. That is. Toss all of these. Let's try to get the Ahri early. Or this is fine as well. You can play it alongside the Ahri. We don't get Ahri. Okay, this might be just over. Need to draw the Ahri. So let's fish for Ahri instead. None of these are Ahri. This is a piece of removal though. Let's take it, I suppose. That's a champion from this cost. Try to soften one of the opponent's units up so we can kill it with the Pow Pow, I guess. We desperately need the Ahri on board next turn, otherwise we won't have enough to block all of the opponent's units. Suppose I could go for Essence Thief. Anything that gets us through our deck faster at this point. We're going to take damage here no matter what. Ouch. Let's try to block the highest damaging units. We stay alive at the very least. Oh, this is not pretty. I'm going to need to go for a healer. Once we do hit the healer encounter. We need draw. Neither one of those are Ahri. Need to find the Ahri. There she is, finally. Getting double the amount of spell casts is extremely important. And that's a unit with Overwhelm. Crap. Whatever, let's just get some spells cast for the sake of generating these units. And let's try to soften up some of the opponent's units. I should have gone for the Ahri attack, but I didn't want to give the Dragonling the option to trade into one of our units for the sake of healing the opponent. At the very least we'll have enough damage to deal with that thing. And then we can just pow that large unit down. Now we have more than enough blockers. Unless the opponent fills up the board and I can't block with the Sparring Student. Am I just going to die to the Overwhelmer now? I might. Yep, I die here. Damn. The fact that we didn't start the game off with Ahri was definitely the reason why we lost. We desperately need to double our spellcasts to get ahead of the opponent in terms of value. Otherwise we have no chance. But we still have the revive, so let's try again. Definitely tossing all of these. Let's just start a mulligan for Ahri every game. If I get Varus here, I'm going to be upset. Good.
I'll see all this world has to offer.
That's fine. Barrier tough. Okay. let's go for the momentous choice.
2 steps into
This way we can soften up some of the opponent's units. The opponent takes 4 anyway, really?
It's done.
Even if they threw the healing? Okay.
Too slow.
Now here unfortunately I have to go for the
Radiant blessing.
double 16 on that large overwhelm unit, otherwise I die.
Eyes on me.
Which means I can't generate any more units for the turn. So we have to make do with the ones we have on board.
I am more myself than ever.
Can you stop summoning units, opponent? Just 18 damage like that.
The sky.
Annoying. But it would have been either 18 damage or the damage from the 23 attack unit. So it was a tough choice no matter what. Let's drop on the sparring student. It can trade into some units sometimes. Let's remove that one.
The forest surrounds.
And let's soften up some of the opponent's units, I guess.
Slow.
The opponent's almost out of cards at least.
World's heart beats with mine.
Can save mana for the next turn. Never mind, let's just go for removal this turn while we can,
Eyes on me.
before the opponent's units grow out of my range. I'm not sure they would.
Too slow.
Final blessing, finally. Can actually go double final blessing here. Really buff up our ephemeral units. Then we hit the opponent with a Orb of Deception. And now, unless the opponent has stun effects, which he might have, we are safe and we can block everything the opponent throws at us.
Discipline and conviction.
Okay, doesn't even attack. I feel like he could have attacked. One of the blockers that Tari generates would have been wasted. And then he could have gone from there. I would have been forced to trade with Fari in order not to lose that much health. Oh, whatever. Let him make bad plays. We desperately need it if we want to win. Pretty sure this... No, it doesn't. I was about to say, I think this clears most of the opponent's units, but it doesn't. It only summons 3 3s. In that case, do I go for Petals of Fate? I suppose. Let's try to give my units some epic, or my cards some epic items. I guess Ari gets everything since we have so many Aris in the deck. Arya Scout? No. Interesting.
Run.
Let's attack with Ari then. Nothing. Why is the opponent just letting me do everything I want? That's awfully suspicious.
Start running.
Let's pull here, we attack with this one. Pull here. Pull here. We waste none of our units, but it's fine. Because we clear almost the opponent's entire board. We almost clear the entirety of the opponent's board, I should say. That's fine. Let's go Essence Thief. Start growing it. Withdraw one spell. Get us through our deck faster. Maybe hit the second final blessing exactly. Okay. No. I was about to say if Ahri dying here is fine because I have one from the from the Grand General's counter plan. But we can save the Ahri, so we're going to do it. Just to do Orb of Deception on one of the opponent's units. You might attack with the Dragonling just to kill the Ahri. Exactly. I'll let him. At least this way we reset the health total on Ahri. We go double Final Blessing here. Let's save it for the next turn so we can generate an entire board for free. Now at full hand size. So let's do 3 into 4. And then we still have enough mana for the Final Blessing. We got a Celestial card here, but I doubt it will be relevant. Okay, he's just taking the damage. I figured he would try to protect himself. Or his self total at least. Turns out I was wrong.
Back, heretic. Reconsider.
He's surviving. Surprisingly. I guess none of my units have overwhelmed, so they only need to be blocked once and they're gone. It's fine. I think we're in a position where it will be very hard for the opponent to win. That might help though. Let's get rid of that right away, shall we? Come on. Let's just end this opponent. Oh. There goes my Varus, I guess. Let's try to remove the opponent's units on this turn so that next turn I can attack with an empty board of my own units. Or I can attack into an empty board with my own units. Honestly, that's probably for the best. That we can just go Orb of Deception here, generate 2 Foxfires, attack with Ahri, proc Scout. He plays something. Heavens aligned. Let's get rid of that annoying lifesteal unit. I sure could benefit from a lifesteal unit myself though. Would have made it so I wouldn't have died here in this encounter. I still think we can go the distance, but I definitely need help. Shock Blast is interesting. Or 8 to one unit and another unit. Then refill your spell mana. It's slow, but the board swing might be good enough to take. Duelist. Duelist is not really that worth it, considering all of the Foxfires already have Challenger by default. Will of Ionia is interesting. If the opponent ever plays something I can't deal with, I just bounce it back to hand. Nah. Dragon Ambush. We do buff our ephemeral units. 4 mana, slow speed. No, I don't think I can afford that. Not with this deck, not in this adventure. I just have to move on. But it kind of sucks not getting any sort of power from this shop. So let's reroll this power. Raiding party. I guess it procs with the Phantom Pranks, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
The enemies of Demacia will fall.
Don't mention the fact that I just wasted money on the healer. I thought I had more max health than that. I suppose it's because I healed after that last encounter. Okay, we have a Varus in hand that increases the chances of us drawing a Ahri here. Perfect. Let's play the Ahri.
Wild hearts should run free.
We won't be caught
The opponent
unaware.
immediately rallies.
Yesenia, again.
I definitely didn't expect that. And he immediately gets an overwhelm on his unit. How fortunate for him. Double shock blast next turn. Or double final blessing next turn. Either way, it will only work next turn.
Forest surrounds us. 2 steps.
So
Everything burns.
yeah, let's just play for the next turn. Take the 15 here. Unpleasant as it is.
Too slow.
Can actually go
I am
for
more than I seem.
Monsters with heart are still
for sort of deceptions here. I think that's preferable. Just because Orb of Deception allows us to remove
Too slow.
2 of the opponent's units, one of which has Overwhelm.
Wear red to honor the fallen.
And now I lose Ahri.
know them to see them again, Jerick.
It's fine. We're just going to hit Ahri off of this final blessing. Never mind. We'll hit Ahri off of this Pow Pow. There we go.
I'll see
Never
what
punished.
This world has to offer.
We won't be caught unaware.
Of course he gets another rally effect, why wouldn't he? And of course he gets another overwhelm on that unit.
Agonizing.
We have enough to survive even. I guess I have to take the 15 yet again. Well, this is extremely unfortunate.
Too slow.
All I can hope for is to be able to heal back up to full after this encounter. That's fine, we can protect the Ahri. And we even have enough spare mana because of the shock blasts to play another Orb of Deception if necessary. And it is extremely necessary.
Eyes on me.
Well, at least we've stabilized. Next turn we can go for the final blessings. 2 of them in fact. And we go from there. Buff up our ephemeral units. That's a very large Essence Thief. Let's pull the Essence Thief. It's so large, it's too hard to pass up on it.
Now I take to the sky.
Shyvana.
More than I seem.
And more than culpable, filthy worm.
Could be worse. Let's just attack like
Too
this.
slow.
Try to deal some damage to the opponent's nexus.
My search is over. Now I hunt.
Okay, that's some decent damage we got through. Now to protect ourselves from the opponent's next turn. Let's get rid of that overwhelm unit right away. I doubt he is going to open attack with Shyvana, so I don't have to worry about him generating another strafing strike off of the Shyvana. Yeah, he's just casting that from hand, it's fine. We get rid of it with an Orb of Deception.
Eyes on me.
And we can pass. We'll just give him back priority, let him develop something. That's scary, but could be worse. We'll just deal with that with another Orb of Deception. If he decided to go for the attack, but since he didn't, we just Shock Blast.
Too slow.
And we get rid of both of his units yet again. Yeah, this Shock Blast was definitely a good pickup. The raiding party is definitely buffing up our units by a lot once we reach this stage of the game.
Too slow.
But I don't know how impactful those buffs really are.
Let them.
I feel like it's the win more type of thing with this deck. On Swain though, another raiding party would have been huge. Our units would have been so massive. I suppose that's the downside of picking a aggressive power. A deck that's not really that aggressive. Rallying Banner on Ahri or more cost reduction. Well, let's go for more cost reduction. I don't intend to let Ahri die at all. Memory Game, Follow the Wind, Mystic Meditation. We actually do want to cast our spells for their full cost. So maybe Memory Game, but that might be too much value. What's our most expensive spell? Shock Blast. We definitely benefit from casting more cards. But at the same time, the fact that our Spirit's Attendant or Foxfires won't be that large, I feel like that might compromise our deck. Memory Game is definitely out of the question though, it's just way too much card generation. Follow the Wind maybe? It would have been better if it stunned, not just when you have the attack token. Sure, let's take the Follow the Wind. We definitely go for the top path because we're just going to die to the opponent's burn if we go for the bottom path. Ahri, none of those are Ahri. Let's toss those two back for Ahri. Keep the protection and the removal in case we need them. Well, that allows me to go for an attack with Ahri here.
World has to offer.
It's fine. We're just going to Petals of Fate for one. Could wait for the next turn to get 2 off, but I don't feel like we need it. Let's go Spirit Rush. It's a spell. Let's start working on chipping away at the opponent's units. All totals.
Perhaps the answer lies in others.
We definitely need to get rid of most of the opponent's units here. Let's do this, get rid of something right away, generate 2 blockers. And then I'm going to let the priority pass back to the opponent, see what he does with that spare 4 mana.
I can quell the wind.
Plus 3 health to all allies. I think it would be preferable if I let this go through. Sure, he attacks with everything, but I can just deal 16 to something, like this unit. And then I generate enough blockers to block most of the opponent's largest units. We still let 6 go through though. But it's fine. Killing that thing would have done nothing because it has Chemtech Dragon Soul, so he would get revived right away with full health anyway. I could definitely use the extra cost on, or I definitely need to play some higher cost spells if we want to deal some damage to the opponent's units, because we do attack with the Foxfires. But right now I can't really do that.
Too slow.
Let's just wait for the next turn, I guess. Save some mana.
Got what I wanted. Now I gotta find what I need.
Perhaps the answer lies in others, not yourself.
He's going to get a lot of cards back next turn. Actually, no. Maybe I misinterpreted the way those cards work. Anyway, we save some spare mana in order to do this. Go for multiple spellcasts this turn. I definitely need to find a turn to play these sleep streams for card draw. 16 damage. I would be more concerned if he targeted Ahri actually, since it's only a Foxfire. It's fine. Only 3 manas left. Let's see what he does. That's a lot of damage. Oh, let's keep clearing most of his units, I suppose.
Too slow.
We're getting a full board to block the opponent's units at least. But he might just kill me with burn if I'm not careful. I think it's time we need the card draw, but we also have a very full hand. Let's Auto of Deception here, I guess.
Too slow. Eyes on me.
And then we can go for a sleep stream. Draw to max hand size. Oh, this is a tough choice. Final Blessings or Shock Blasts. I think Final Blessings are better. It grows our ephemerals by so much.
Surrounds us.
I feel like I definitely need to do it. Okay, he's healing and drawing. That's not good for us because he can, yeah, get spells that deal damage to our Nexus. He's just going to kill me with burn, isn't he?
I am a hunter.
I can just see it.
I am Vastaya.
Well, he's almost out of cards.
lessons too well, Ahri.
Come down from that perch, Protector.
Let's protect the Ahri. I want her on board. Let's go ahead and get rid of the elusive because I can't block it properly with my ephemerals.
Left behind.
He's drawing more, but at the very least he won't be able to play them this turn. At least I don't think. Okay, he's out of mana. So let's go for a more expensive Orb of Deception just to get rid of the Chemtexol on that thing. Let's hope the opponent didn't draw burn with that cast of the Janus Champion spell. Can I even kill the opponent here? It might be rough. Let's try to do this. Just get as much damage on board as possible. And then we attack with everything. 40 damage. Not enough. And we're taking 8, of course. He's just hitting that burn every time.
Fresh start. Just looking for a sign.
I cannot. There's a chance that I kill the opponent with Spirit Rush.
A chase.
Depending on if we generate another copy of it. Yeah, perfect. In that case the opponent's dead. Because I just go for a Spirit Rush for free. And that deals 5 to his Nexus because it gets cast twice. Oh, damn, we took 30 damage here in this encounter just from burn over the top. Sure would be nice if I could get some form of healing in this deck, but I don't think I will be able to. Ocean Drake can heal, but only when we cast a fast slow spell or skill. Tear of the Goddess, Shock Blast. It's not 6, but it makes it a bit easier to go for that. And casting it is nice, so let's do it. Orb of Deception, X-Tech Fabricator 2. Since we're getting so many Orbs of Deception off, it's definitely going to pay off to have that. Vanguard Lookouts can help me jump block in the early game, but they might not be necessary. The Darkwater Scourge is a lot more tempting just as a way to get a burst of healing, which you desperately need. So I'm going to pick up 2 of them, actually 3 of them. They even have card draw on them, so it's like they replace themselves when we play them, so they're not terrible. 25 health and a dream. Okay, at least we get Ahri and a Pow Pow on the first turn. The full Frostbite's an enemy, they summon the Sigil of the Storm. If I'm not mistaken, they always go for a Boadir of Blackened Ice here. Not if we steal their Boadir of Blackened Ice. Let's drop down an Ahri. See if the opponent takes the bait. He took the bait. Well, let's summon another Ahri. We attack with everything. Let's soften up the opponent's unit. I can actually free the Ahri next turn with the Orb of Deception. fine. I don't think he can go for anything else this turn. So let's go Orb of Deception there.
Flow. Eyes on me.
We generate some blockers. We free the Ahri. The opponent doesn't attack, really. I thought for sure they would attack at least with the Valhyr's Prophet since it's so large. Guess I was mistaken. Now, we're getting a lot of Orbs of Deception, but they might be too many. Also, we're going to get triple casts now because we have two Ahris on board. We have to take that into account too. You know what, let's not let the opponent have an opportunity to do anything. Let's just do this. We're buffing up our Foxfires by a bunch, by giving them a bunch of items. Yeah, picking up the X-Tech Fabricator on those units was definitely the correct call. Also, let's do this. I feel like this deals more damage.
Too slow.
Yep, that's correct.
The world's heart.
The opponent can hardly kill me next turn. So I'm going to use the turn afterwards to develop the Dark Water Scourge before we go for the kill on the opponent. At least that way we get some healing before the end of this encounter. Or the opponent can just kill me with Rons. I suppose that's fine too. Luckily we have some spare Ahris in hand. Or otherwise we'd have been screwed by the fact that the opponent just drops 2 Rons on us. Crap. I definitely needed that Ahri on board. We can still go Ahri into
Captivate.
removal piece, if I'm not mistaken. Like this.
Too slow. Eyes on me.
And we have enough blockers. Wait, what? Did the opponent... He got Chemtech Soul and I didn't realize. Okay, that was it. So we just die here. That's it. Well, that was a bummer. I'm still going to try this again. Just at a different time. Because I'm definitely very pissed off that I lost like this. We lost our revive because one time we didn't draw Ahri on the first couple of turns and we just got overwhelmed by the opponent's stuff. And then we lose because I didn't realize the opponent had gotten Chemtech Soul, which would save the Boadir of Blackened Ice from our removal. What a bummer. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.